So even though today is November 1st, for me, today's actually Halloween. I had to film that whole Halloween special ending last night, and it took way longer than I thought to freaking set all that stuff up. And then plus I got a bunch of fake blood on my walls, so now I'm like higher than I could reach. So I'm gonna have to go in and do a little bit of do like a legit cleanup. But that looked a lot, whether or not it was as cool as I think, that looked a lot cooler than I thought it would be. A little Dexter Morgan-esque. But no, yeah, so actually Halloween now. I tell you something, there's a high percentage, at least of, that kind of semi-younger demographic, 18 to however, right, where these guys are going to stay up way too late and get into some trouble. I'm not a square, man, and I'm not going to say that you gotta never do that kind of stuff. But all I'm saying is, a lot of the times there's just this peer pressure involved, where, you get the gist. I'm not going to be that kind of like party pooper kind of guy, if you get what I'm saying. But I know there's a lot of people where maybe they could get after it a little bit more, but the guys they hang out with, they don't really work out that much, and it's if you stick out in a group, that's not cool. Like that's not how things kind of work. So you end up just kind of boiling down everything you do to what everybody your buddies do, and then that's kind of the end of it. And then instead of acting as individuals, you kind of just act as a cohesive unit, and it's like a weird group think kind of deal. I'm sure we all kind of know the situation, right? Where dude, I got to do this test, and then I gotta study for I gotta finish this project. Oh man, come on, bro, dude, really? Or the guy who busts out the scale at the restaurant. It's a story as old as time. And even me saying it right now, it doesn't sound like that cool, right? Like it's really kind of an up to you situation for kind of making sure that you are your own designated driver of what your overall goals are, and not to let yourself be kind of swayed either which way. So that's my main point, right? That's my main point there. Just keep making gains. But yeah, plan for today with legs, which is really just going to be quads. Nothing wild. Like, it's going to be a little bit more leg extension based. There'll be some leg press, lighter. But when I'm dieting down, quads, they do get the intensity turned down a touch. Just because I don't need so much weight, and I don't need so much tension and so much damage straight into my patellas and my tendons and everything else in the middle of my knees. And it's almost like, I think I'm comfortable enough with the fact that I go hard enough when I'm bulking up in an off season, where the dieting phase is almost twofold. For one, it lets me get leaner, but for two, it also lets me kind of relax with my just overall joint damage and fatigue and inflammation, and I can focus a bit more on just solid stimulation, pumps, burning, go home, eat in my deficit, and do my cardio, and just be happy about it as I get leaner over time. So I can almost guarantee the gym should be nearly dead right now. So I think nothing else to say, but let's just go get a quad pump. I'm just going to start with some leg extensions. Light squeezing, burning. Okay. Oh, let's see what Doug likes that now. Two. One more though, a little bit lighter. Let's go from the stack to 250. Okay. Oh my gosh. Whew. Okay. Let's go back to a lighter set and do some alternating 5 reps. This will be it. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Quads are quads are pumped. Let's go see how they're looking. There we go. Little zoom in for dramatic effect. But I'm not joking. My quads are pumped. And that was only what? How many sets of leg extensions that were like, shit, what's the word? I don't know. It's like 5 or 6-ish. But the resulting quad pump, look, man, I can say with certainty, on the gnarlier end. And part of it might just be to do with the fact that I'm extra hydrated today, but I was kind of hobbling over here. Like even just standing, no flexing, no anything, my quads are tense. And that's what I want to see, because that tells me that I've got a substantial amount of blood that has flown into them. So I've been leaner in this exact same spot, 6 months ago, but shit, man, this ain't a bad start, that's for freaking sure. And I can even see a little bit of separation while fully pumped. That's one thing where quads actually, I think in a way, sometimes lose mystique when they're fully pumped up, because what can happen is all these intricate little details and like fibers and veins, they kind of lose definition. Well, actually, that's looking, let me get a little leg zoom in there. But they kind of lose some definition when fully pumped, because what happens is it's just so swollen that, all those little cuts and striations and everything, they just start to lose their prominence, if you kind of feel me. But, nah, this is good. And the leaner I get, and the more defined all these cuts end up being, and the smaller my knees end up getting, because the body fat around them will gradually peel off and make my quads appear larger. Well, even though I'm technically getting smaller, visually, as I get leaner, it will look like I'm getting bigger, just due to kind of the proportionality change, what I usually call the leanness effect. But that was good. I'm definitely gonna feel my quads in the morning. Not so much as I felt my adductors yesterday, but I'll still feel them. So, very quick one. Gee, man, nothing else to say but a quad pump. Let's roll. All right, yeah, that was good. That was good. I think one thing that I notice I need to do when I'm dieting down as well is up my, not frequency, but up the, well, I guess you could say frequency. The frequency of the sets themselves, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So rather than like, when I'm off season, bulked up, full of carbs, I'm gonna do a set of incline bench or whatever. I'm gonna wait 3 minutes. Or maybe not 3, but like, probably 2 minutes at least. Really get my breath back together. And not even that, but like when I'm full of carbs, I can push it that much harder, which should be obvious. Like obviously, we get a bunch of energy, but I mean on like a muscular level, I can do more damage in one set. So it's not that I'm like out of breath and I need to rest for longer, but it's more so like I don't feel like my chest is ready yet to come back for another set without a little bit more rest, if you kind of feel what I'm saying. But when I'm dieting down, these sets on a set by set basis aren't so damaging. Like none of those sets of leg extensions were as close to the same muscular damage as like one of my craziest sets of squats or something. And that's kind of the point. I don't need to do that much damage right now to maintain my strength and size. But if the sets that I'm doing aren't so damaging, I don't need to rest so long in between. I can do them a little bit quicker. And then not only that, but whether you think it really changes anything or not, it lets me get pumped sooner, faster, and more intensely. So, that tells me I'm getting a lot of extra blood flow and, that temporary inflammation in the, kind of intended muscle. So, whether you are a believer of like the sarcoplasmic stretching effect of hypertrophy, or you think it's only like muscular tension that's the only factor at play. Look, man, I know that if I get a good pump and I can feel that I did good work on that lift as well, then that's a good lift, So I think these workouts, as I get leaner, they might not change so much in volume. Like I might do the same number of sets, but the sets might be a little bit quicker. And I'm cool with that, Like I think I'm battling two motivations. Like one, I want to work out because it's fun. So, like if I feel like I want to keep doing more sets, I guess I'll probably have to do it, right? But on the other hand, I'm also thinking, okay, I want to do an efficient workout that is effective. So those two kind of add up to, what I think I end up doing. Which is, today just a quick 6 or 5 set of those leg extensions, ended fully pumped, good burn between. Well, that's sweet, man. Right? So that's kind of what I'm going for. What was I going to say? Oh, sorry. I had a point, but I kind of forgot it. I was going to say this. So on a less kind of a downer approach to Halloween kind of party, whatever, it looks like it's actually going to be decent out today. I don't know if this is probably just like a Midwest thing or like a Northeast kind of thing, but I don't really remember a ton of Halloweens, at least as I got, older, where it wasn't just like wet or gross, or like, the everybody kind of collectively decided we were going to push Halloween to the next day so that it wasn't so gloomy out. Like I remember when I was a kid, it was always good weather, but I don't know. I think that's some sort of climate change at work. Like I remember getting into December was always winter wonderland up here in Ohio, and now, shit, man. I don't know when the first day it's going to snow. Not tomorrow. But then also sometimes it just hits you like it just comes randomly, and it's like one day it's 6 inches, 32 or 20 degrees, looks like you're in the middle of Antarctica, and then 2 days later it's 60. Just kind of funky, right? But that's not a scientific take. That's just my personal anecdote. But that's probably the best thing about working out, or at least one of the best things, is weather isn't going to throw you off. At least, not as much as anything else, right? It's an indoor activity, unless you're over at Gold's Gym and you've got an outdoor section, which is kind of cool. But honestly, I feel like if I was going to Gold's every day, I'd probably still want to stay inside for the most part. But it's just kind of cool to get out there. But for the most part, the only thing that's going to stop me from coming to the gym weather-wise is I guess if there was a tornado right in front of me, I might hang out in the basement that day and do just do extra cardio. Or if the snow gets so bad road-wise that the Camry couldn't handle it. That is one aspect where the Camry could improve, because it's just front-wheel drive. There's no there's just regular car tire treads. Shit, man, you get yourself in a relatively raised Jeep with fat snow tires, and maybe even go the extra mile of putting those chains on the side of it. I don't think any terrain could stop you. But that pretty much never happens. There was I've said this story a couple times, but when I was back in school, one weekend, or maybe it was a weekday, I don't remember exactly, but there was this snowstorm that was brutal. And normally at a high school gets shut down just because everybody has to take buses, but at least at that school it was shit, man, all these kids are walking to class anyway, school's in session. But it was bad enough that they actually had to do a full-on shutdown for the day, just due to legit weather emergency. Like, even the guys who were supposed to be plowing the roads weren't getting out there as quick as they could. Like, it was just a lot, you know. And I'm like, oh shit, well, let me look it up. The Planet Fitness 30 minutes away is open. You know, so I get my pre-workout, I jump in the car, and I say, let's go get this leg day. And, you know, normally it would take 30 minutes. So this is my Dorian Yates story. Not exactly trudging through the snow, but, you know, carefully steering to make sure I stay center during, driving to the gym. And instead of a half hour, it took like an hour and a half to get there. So I pull in, I get to the parking lot, closed. Obviously, I don't know why I didn't call ahead to have the guy at the front desk say if they're going to be in there or not. So, you know, I'm like, shit, well, you know, whoop-de-doo, that's not cool. I already took my pre-workout, so in my mind, I'm like, all right, worst case scenario, I just drive back to my dorm, and I do like a sissy squat-based workout at home, and just, like, deal with it that way. But that wasn't really going to happen either. That didn't seem very cool. So I'm scouring. I'm like, Google Maps, gym, just anything. Just give me anything. Give me a gym somewhere. That's all I want. And I find one only like 10 minutes away or so. So I go in and I'm like, well, the door's open. It's a 24-hour gym. I walk in, I talk to some guys. I'm like, is anybody working here? Like, do I have to get a day pass right now? Like, what are we doing? Like, dude, did you guys talk to anybody? Are you guys members here? And both of them, and a lot of the guys who were in there that day were like, look, man, we don't know. The guys who were supposed to be working here aren't here, and we just showed up and walked in, and now we're hitting a workout. So, lucky for me, that gym was actually pretty cool, so I kept going back there for a while. But, yeah, that was fun. So that was my L turn W of that snowstorm, right? What looked like was going to suck and kind of throw me off my game and make me skip a day actually turned into discovering a pretty badass gym, which had heavy-ass dumbbells, old-school weights. They played the music a little too loud in there. That's my only gripe. And, like, I'm not a complainer, I don't think. Like, it was loud. It was too loud. And, like, there'd be nobody in there, too. Like, even late. But still a pretty cool gym, that's for sure. That's one thing that we don't see a lot of. I'm kind of repeating myself from a couple days ago. And I was just talking to a guy in that Anytime a bit about it, how there used to be a couple gyms around here where it's like, the commercialization of gyms, as much as it's a good thing because it brings it to the forefront, makes it cheaper, makes it just more accessible, it's clean, like it's probably pretty rare you're going to walk into like an Anytime Fitness, probably pretty much never like a Planet Fitness or anything. Like, you're never going to walk into a corporate gym and think, oh, what a mess. Everything's broken. Like, everything works, it's good, it's what you'd expect. It's like pulling into a Walmart if you're traveling. You know what's in there. But there's something about like a private gym, and by private I don't mean like, private club. I'm just saying like a gym where all the pieces were specifically curated by the owner, where he didn't just pick like a good deal by buying a whole bunch of stuff in bulk from like Life Fitness, like they fill up all the Planet Fitness gyms with. Like, just going to an actual used gym equipment distributor and saying, this old leg curl is sweet, this thing is awesome, this thing is really good, this and this. It's like walking into, I'm sure some people have this experience or have had it, where it's like you're really into something, like you're into records, you're into like literature, but not in like as a flex, where it's like, well, I've got a couple books, and like you got a full-on library where every wall is a bookshelf of all this sort of stuff you all read. A gym is the same thing, right? You can walk in, and just by seeing the equipment and how it's laid out and like the lights and just over everything, you can say, someone cooked here. If you know what I'm saying. But it's you can't fake it, right? You can't fake it either. That's like somebody saying, hey man, you wanna, I'm into like a lot of underground music. Like, you probably wouldn't, like you wouldn't know this guy, right? What what's it called? Well, it's not a band. It's just one guy. It's all right. I'll put you on. Right? It's called Tame Impala. You probably never heard of them, right? Instant giveaway that it's kind of an uncultured take. Now Tame Impala's good, but I'm saying everybody knows. So that's the best part. Like every time I go to all the gyms that I distinctly remember, or at least a lot of them, are ones where the equipment was either picked out with taste or was just picked very well at the time and then aged well. Like there's this one gym in I think it's either North or South Carolina, I forget which one. It's close to Hilton Head, and it's just like it looks like a YMCA. Like it's just a basic fitness center, but the equipment in there was sweet. Like I want to go back, not only like as like a little bit of a beach trip, but just because that gym is so freaking cool. That was the gym where I tried to do 6 plates for reps, and I think I only got 2, or I might have got 3. I don't remember. I was feeling pretty strong at the time. Like this was during a bulk, but I was not 6 plates strong. I think I got maybe 3, and then I failed the 4th one. I don't know. But either way, super cool gym. And all the equipment was like totally uniform. Like it's all from the same brand or whatever, like all the same color and everything. But it just, I want to go back. That's on the list for some time. Right? Next time I'm heading over there for whatever, I want to get a stop at that gym. But this intersection is going to take me a little while to get through. It's kind of a tricky left. So I think I'll just see you. I'll see you next time and leave you with that. So I'll see you tomorrow.